Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you here. Nap salué tout le monde qui aborde chaîne nan. Merci en pile d'être nous fait moment ça apprécié. Thank you for making this moment a very special moment with us. Thank you for joining us on our channel here at the National Alliance of the Advancement of Haitian Professionals. My name is Samuel Buissereth. I'm one of the marketing managers here, and we're excited. We're excited to continue our symposium series, and we're excited for a number of reasons, but the only reason that matters today, right now, is the fact that we have our conference coming up in November 7th of this year. So we're excited because we can't wait to see all of you show up. We are excited to be able to meet a lot of you and to get to know more about you, and then of course network and learn from each other. There's something to say when we have that much brain power in the same room. We get things done, we tackle great issues, and then we also anticipate greatness from all of you. So thank you. And we can't wait for you to register. Make sure that you are signing up and that you lock in your hotel, you lock in your transportation. Make sure that you are good to go for that amazing time with one another. And where else? In Atlanta, Georgia. So we're great. We're grateful for that. And we'll be able to see each other too. So we're excited about it as well. Well, today is special because we are excited to continue our series with a few of our sponsors. And this particular sponsor is a fantastic initiative. And we're going to hear more about him and what he can do and what they provide for the community, and also what makes them connected to NAAHP, all right? We got to ask him what makes him connected to this wonderful family of ours and find out more about them. So if you could join me in welcoming Dr. Nnamdi. So please tell us who you are, what do you do, and then we'll dive in later on with how you are connected to NAAHP as well.
Hello, everyone. Samuel, thank you for having me. Thank you for that introduction. I was enjoying listening to you speak the whole time. Like that was incredible. And my name's Nnamdi, Nnamdi Ihenacho, and I am the founder of the African Immigrant Collective. And just like NAAHP, what we do is we are an ecosystem built to really focus on the economic advancement of the African community, the African immigrant community, the African diaspora. We found a gap in our community space. Right, we have communities catering to pretty much every aspect of our lives, but it was more geared towards survival. Right, it's spiritual, social. We want to bring Africa to US and feel like we're home. But we saw there were not too many people who prioritized the economic advancements, for our people. And we figured, let's, throw our hat in the ring and let's see how, yes, we're not competing with the other people who do what they do. Our focus is just let's equip people with skills, information, resources to help us thrive. And then now you don't have to go too far to find information when it comes to navigating your career, when it comes to figuring out immigration and how you can be established in the US. You're not going too far if you're looking for, you're trying to get into entrepreneurship, you're trying to figure out how the lay of the land works. That's really our goal. And we've made some progress. We launched this year, so we're really young, but we've made significant strides in the last 6 months or so. So I think that's my connection to you all, because that's how we're introduced. Personally, I do a bunch of other things. I'm in tech. I run a training school here in Atlanta as well, for people looking to get into tech. And then I am married with 3 daughters, so I am outnumbered at home. 3 toddlers, 4, 6, and 8. And so that is a quick 30,000 view of me and what I'm doing. But I'm excited to be here. I'm excited about the conference, and I'm excited to be speaking with you, Samuel.
Oh my! So we need to dive into a few of these things because I feel like you're an onion with a lot of layers. So
You can say that. Yes, that is true. That is
oh,
so
that's
true.
fantastic. One would be, where did the initiative and the mindset behind your collective begin? What prompted this to turn into something official here in the community?
So it began. It's something that you know how you're inspired by your own journey. Me going through, I came to the US young. I guess I'm still a young man, but really young. Like I was 24 when I first came, and so it was a big it was a big change for me because that was young, but that was an old, really fond man coming to a new country to start from the beginning. No family, no friends. I came to do my master's degree, and so I had to figure out everything from scratch.
Right.
I landed in Wilmington, North Carolina. That was my first home when I go because that was where I went to do my master's degree, and started school. It was difficult to find anything. There were no communities. It was very, very not diverse. Beautiful city, but and so that lack of resources made that part of the journey a little bit of a struggle for me. So career brought me to Atlanta after I completed my program, and I saw the beauty of having community. For the first time, I saw people who had similar stories, who were doing well and connecting and doing stuff. But it was more informal, right? It was in pockets. And so I was fortunate enough to really have good people around me when I came to Atlanta. And that expedited my journey. Like I went career-wise, it moved quickly. I was able to get into the job I wanted. Everything fast-tracked for me from there. And I saw firsthand the power of just being in the right network, being in the right community and what it can do. And I think of and I hear so many stories of people like because I do training, people come to me and say, "Man, I wish I found you a long time ago. I wouldn't have wasted 5 years. I wish I knew you 10 years ago." And so there's so many people that I'm privileged to meet that have the stories that they had lost years and years of their life. Well, let me not say lost, but they had wasted so much time when they could have moved so much faster if somebody told them you have access to this resource. And that was where the inspiration for this. We saw a need. Myself and my wife, we started talking, and I thought I feel like there's a gap here if we can create something where anybody coming in or people who exist like your uncle doesn't have to have the answers. Your best friend who you knew from back home doesn't need to know. All they need to tell you is there's an organization like this. Go see what they find some information there that will save so many people. Now we can say, hey, go talk to this person, they'll expedite your journey, connect to these people and they'll help you. And so that's really where the inspiration came from. We wanted to bridge that gap. It's something we had for the last 3-4 years we've been ruminating on. Like let's get this going. But this year I joined a fellowship. Early in the year, and I went there because I was taking because social venture was a fellowship for social ventures, and Tourist Foundation sponsored it. Shout out to them, and they did. It was so transformational for me because I saw people doing great things. I saw people running nonprofits, really doing impact. I'm like, this is exactly what I've been trying to do, and so that gave me the courage to like, whatever, I'm just going to jump in and figure it out. I've never run an organization like this before, but I'll go for it. And um, that was how we started. That was, I started doing that and then leveraged the resources I had access to with the fellowship. And at the base camp, the summary of the fellowship, I used that to launch the event. We had our first summit in May of 20 this year, and that was it. And some of the cool part about this today by 1 p.m., we'll be doing our orientation for our first board of directors. Can you imagine? So
Wow.
that is how far we've come. We've hosted so many in the last 3-4 months. Every Saturday we've had an event, an empowerment event. We call it our expert series, where we have
Okay.
experts coming and people joining, asking questions, around immigration. We have different career paths. People are coming and people are excited. The community is like psyched. And the interesting part that I've seen too with this is I'm seeing other smaller organizations, or not small, but other organizations are beginning to also spring up since we started making noise, and which is I love it. I'm excited about it because finally now there's going to be so many other organizations like this helping out, being there for our people to ensure we do well in this country. There's so many opportunities here that we can, if we just come together, we can do and accomplish so much.
Oh wow, that is fantastic. I'm getting goosebumps by the amount of not only resources, but the potentiality of the collective and what it stands for here in the community. So, for starters, and something to add to this conversation, we have to admit that we are not from the same ethnicity, right? So, for those who are wondering, the doctor I have in front of me here is African and I'm Haitian. So we come from two separate backgrounds, but yet we are so similar in so many ways. I'd like to ask you this question. Why and how did you see this need for a lot of diaspora that were showing up here in this country and needed support for their transition from where they are coming from to being settled here in this country? And talk to some of the pain points that you felt the collective could address and help with. I'd like to learn.
Yeah. So there is the big thing we have or we lack coming in is information, right? Whether it's, and the reason why I feel like we connect so well, I feel at home having a conversation with you when I connected to Molina and I was part of one of your Tuesday sessions. I felt like I could relate because it's the same background, it's the same story, it's the same journey. The immigrant experience is pretty much the same. There's so many ways we connect. And so this really affects that. I feel like, and that's why I'm so excited about being a part of the convention. Another cool thing I'll share with you before I answer your question.
Yes.
We have, one of our legal experts who just joined the team is Haitian. I'm like, listen,
Inevitable.
we are expanding we're welcoming everybody into the fold. Right? It's African immigrants, but our journey is the same, right? So but one of the key issues that we run into is information. It's the lack of it or too much of it, right? For some, there's misinformation. There is no information at all. You come in and somebody, I recall being picked up from the airport, and with good intentions, someone told me, listen, this is the only way you can transition into and get your legal status here. And I'm thinking there is no way under God's green earth that there's just one way, right? But people make these absolute statements based off their own experience. And if you never hear from anybody else, we say something that you are the average of the first 5 people you meet when you first come to the US. Your journey becomes your journey almost all the time. And so if you're not fortunate to have somebody who has advanced, or that's likely going to be where you're stuck. People come in and, okay, everybody around me is doing nursing, for example. Suddenly that becomes the only path available for you. When that's not true. We have folks who come in, and one of the things we have in common is we like to go to school. We are highly educated as a community. And so a lot of people come to the US already with their masters and their PhDs, and even advanced in career. And then you come in and then some people tell you, again, I'm not knocking those folks. I want to be very clear. This is what they know. And they tell you, you see, I know you're this back home, but you can't do that here. This is what you have to do. And you see folks who were professors in universities throw all of that away and go take on jobs that they have no business doing. They go take on career paths, some going to maybe go drive Uber or do some other thing. Again, that's if that's your hustle, that's your hustle. But don't choose that path because there is no other way, right? That's not true. And so that's one of the things we want to push back on is there's options, right? There's how your paths, whether you came as a student and you want to transition, you want to settle here now, there's different options for you. You have experience from home, there's options for you, right? You're good at certain things, there's options, but we want to present you this is information, do with it as you may, right? It's not just one way, and that's one of the key things we get to fight is we deal with is that information, either too much information, misinformation, or not enough information. And that's really our goal with the collective is, fight back, not fight, just present you the right information, give you options. The other thing that is also a need that we saw is resources. You want to we know how, in corporate America, a lot of the jobs don't get posted. A lot of the, a lot of the hiring starts internal first. And so if you don't have a circle who can refer you, you work a little harder. You work a little harder to break in. If you don't know, if there's nobody who knows you're good at something, nobody's advocating for you in front of people who can help you. You want to do certifications, you want to do certain things to advance your career, and you don't know there's resources available to you, right? So we want to be a center that provides or helps with providing those resources, at least makes it accessible, right? For entrepreneurship for me growing up, for example, I'll use myself, was it's work hard, it's bootstrap, and that's how I've run. That's my mindset. So coming in and starting a business, that's all I knew. I knew nothing about whether it's taking a loan or figuring out other funding ways to do funding, and it's bootstrap. And then now you're working, you're living your life, and you're strapping to just drag this business. And you want to do this. This is something you're passionate about, but it's struggling because you're limited in resources and whether it's people or money. And there's so much more opportunities to fund your business if you have a good idea, right? I didn't know anything about pitching and business capital and anything in finding investors and all of that. Honestly, too, I got into the fellowship, and so those are things I want to make sure people that have bright ideas, you don't go through that struggle to get it off the ground, right? You can connect and collaborate with other people, you can raise money, you can do those things. So those are some of the things. And then community is the biggest one. In the end, we want to be around our people, right? It's easy to see people succeed, but it's different when it's your person. Like, I know Samuel, like I saw him go through and now he's up there. It means I can get there too, right? I can relate to his journey. And that's the power of if we can get professionals together in one room, and you see somebody who is a director, a VP somewhere. For the young person just on F1, they can wow, that's my people. That person came here on F1 too, and they are there. That means I can become that person. Community opens doors. You get to meet people faster. I've been so blessed in this journey to connect with so many great people, and I'm like, wow. But it's also inspirational. It tells me what, they got there, so that means it's possible. I think that's a big, just being able to paint a picture. That's what community does. Is it shows you what's possible if you can bring our people together, and you can see images of people who are doing great, who are doing well. It tells you it's possible, and then now that limit is removed, right? If it's people from outside, they can do it they're from here, they're Americans, and you can make an excuse that it's not for me, it's for them. But when you see your people doing it, now that excuse is wiped out, and now you have to go do it. So
wow, that's good. I think so. I'd like to address a couple of things that you highlighted in this fascinating collective that you and your wife have started. So one of the things is that when I'm just advising or mentoring someone who is just arriving, because diaspora tout côté, and I said that in Creole because there are diaspora everywhere from everywhere. That's important for us to realize. And we have some similar stories like this. It's reassuring and comforting at the same time. One of the things that I get asked a lot is, hey, Sam, now that I'm here, what are my next steps for success? And they truly need guidance, anywhere from some of the basic necessities like driving a car in America, being able to get a bank account. But then we also have that range that goes all the way up to say, listen, I've spent 10, 15, 20 years as a professional, gaining my education, learning a skill, and now I'm here. What can I do to translate that work into something meaningful so that I don't have to go 10 steps back or 5 years previous? And so I see the need for this collective in such a great way. I think what's mind-boggling is that, and this is maybe just the specific fact that when we see someone who has made it, who has that success, and they look like us, we feel that we can have access to them. and it's comforting. We can say, listen, what was that transition looking like when you were making that jump from a beginner or internship to now you're a senior manager and you are a director of a department? What did that look like, and how did you, what was it like when you first applied for your business loan so that you could have inventory? Help me, because I'm struggling with that particular step. I find it commendable. So my question to you, and why I brought that up, is that what have been some of the feedback and testimonials for folks who have worked with you over the last few months while being able to make that transition in their professional career?
There's a lot of incredible stories again in a short time that we've we've heard. One of the more fascinating ones that comes to my mind is there's a lady who joined us, and she's African American. Like she's not even African at all, but she's married to a Nigerian guy. He's in Nigeria. He's not even here. And she's joined so that she can give him a head start, right? When he gets here. It's like, hey, listen, I don't want you to. She's heard all the stories about immigrant struggle, and she's like, I can't relate to this guy's experience, but I can connect him to people who can. And so she's been very committed to our programming. She's been very committed to just everything we're doing and really making that connection for her husband, so he has a soft landing when he gets here. And the guy is very engaged in our online platforms, um, asking questions. And so that's exciting for me, because he will not have to be confused from day one. He will come in here, he will have phone numbers of people to call if he has questions. He will know the next step when it comes to, he's already understanding things like credit and driver's license and rent. I mean, it helps that he's married, but it's also he doesn't have to, like, it's you come in and then people sound like you already. So you're not worried about trying to understand the accent or how that's one culture shock eliminated for you completely. So that's one incredible story. We've had we did a session on one of our cybersecurity experts, and by the time the guy was done with his first session, people were blown away because of the amount of information that was given away for free. Just folks who weren't sure about, okay, is this the path for me or not? And he breaks it down. And I know like 2, 3 people who have come to say, hey, I'm starting my journey on this path. Connect me to this guy. I want to get more information. Then our immigration sessions have been, it's almost like it's free consultation pretty much. We're not just calling your name and addressing people. People are coming and asking questions about their real situations.
Right.
They're coming and asking, this is what's going on, and what do I do? How do I navigate? And real issues are being addressed. We had a session where we had somebody who worked with the Federal Reserve came and did a presentation, and his whole mission is, I'm so excited about this organization because I want to get people that look like myself, he's Sierra Leonean, into the Federal Reserve. And he does a whole session teaching our people how to prepare for the exam, what to do, and he's willing to be the referral for all of them.
All of them.
All of them. Like, it's opening the door and holding it open for people to just walk in for free. It's incredible, just these things. And he's so excited. He's contacted us again, when the job opens, he's hit us up like, hey, post this thing now, get people to it's amazing. On our Circle platform, there's new jobs being posted. People are sharing like, hey, there's a job here, let me know if you're interested, I'll refer you, I'll recommend you. And it's mind-blowing just how all of that is happening, even with random things, not random, but important things that you would think, okay, typically our community will get involved. We just had a session, I think, end of last month, and we're talking about the elections and citing our people about going to vote. Like, we need to be, if we want to be part of policy, then we have to show up, because everything decided there affects us. sometimes that's what we do a lot is I really don't care what's happening up there. I just want to survive, take care of my family. And we forget policy affects us. Your councilman, your mayor, all of those things that actually affect how you do, not just the presidency. And so having that session and see people embrace the conversation, was powerful to. It was powerful to see. And so there's just different stories like that that we have, that gets to happen for us every week. There's a new one that blows our mind, like, wow, this, and that's why we're still going. It's hard work, but that's why I wake up and I'm excited about what I do.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear because I think one of the things that's so important in moving and making that transition and why you need a place and an organization like the collective is that when you come from the country that we are originating from, the options are very minimal and very specific. And so the line is drawn, and now you just have to execute because there are not too many more options outside of the track.
Yeah.
And it could even be from your formal education to your chosen career profession. And then you come to a place like the United States, which says, hey, we have 4,000 universities, pick one. We have 40,000 career options, and they all can make you great money and have a fantastic career. And you can be stable and create a family and live for the next 50, 60, 70 years. Try to filter through 40,000 career choices and see how far you get. And that's why you need someone like you. And we're just appreciative of what you all are doing because you help narrow down. Can you imagine narrowing down between a QA analyst and a software developer, and they both pay well?
Like what you're saying is so powerful because we have people coming and they just go, I want to get into IT because I hear they make money.
Right.
And like, which IT? What do you? And so having these sessions where we say this is what the database engineer does versus this is what the QA analyst does, this is what the cybersecurity, like it's now you say, oh, okay, I think this one is for me. Well, somebody says, I don't want to code, but I want IT money. Well, there are non-technical roles in tech that you can explore, right? And now we're providing you these conversations. We've had Scrum Masters and project coordinators, and we've had those conversations and people are saying, wow, okay, I can do that. I feel like I can do that. Well, this might not be for me. So you're absolutely correct. The abundance of options can also be it can be overwhelming and people now make mistakes. They start, they stop, they start, they stop, and then time is moving. But having these opportunities to get clarity helps you expedite your. Now you can focus in and then just this is what I want to do, and then you go for it. You know,
Us and what did that look like and what can we anticipate from you at the conference? We're excited to have you.
I'm excited. Somebody made an introduction. I believe it was one of our partners at the collective was connected to Molina and set up something. And when I saw what you guys did, I'm like, this is us. This is us. It was from the states, the Atlanta State's office for Holcomb, something like this. And so then she made that introduction because we had reached out to them say this is who we are, what we do. And I was so excited, one because of where he was coming from, but also when I got on the phone with it was with Molina and it was with the other lady. And it was one of the Texas states. I was trying to not call out the wrong name, but we met and it was like a family meeting because
Wow.
we spent an hour talking that day. The first call we had was, we talked about the conference and the mission of both organizations. But we talked about life. We talked about our experiences. We talked about how we worship. And we got into everything. And I felt like, you know what, we're the same pretty much. And our journey, you do the conferences, and we do have our, we do the everyday stuff, right? So we're doing the same thing. Our missions are so aligned. We just use different vehicles to go about it, and that's great. There's our people will be able to benefit from what your offer, and yours will be able to benefit from ours, right? Just being here, being on the ground. And so I feel like there's such an alignment in the mission that it just made sense to be a part of it. It made so much sense. And I've been saying yes. If not for time, I would have done all the Tuesday planning sessions that you all have. Just if not for anything, just to engage and connect more with the people and meet more of the people in the community because of the alignments. We'll be there as sponsors. We'll have our own spot and everything, and I can't wait to just let more people hear about who we are and what we do. Hopefully there's people who will say, hey, you know what, I need some of those things, and we'll be happy to be of service to everybody, because our turn will come and like, hey, all of you, come help us out too. That's what I'm excited about, and it's been amazing, just the connection, and I'm so looking forward to the conference. It really am.
Oh, that's great to hear. And I have to admit, so for those of you who don't remember, Atlanta is my hometown, so you all are coming home, and so I will probably be the very first person at your booth. Okay, I have to be able to say, listen, you are here. We get to meet one another and learn more about what you do. There's this quote that I've learned. I'm not sure where I learned it from, but I'll share it. There's power in numbers. And when we can realize that as diaspora, and learn that when we have that connection that can lead us to the next step, we can progress in life so much faster. Can you imagine meeting Dr. Nnamdi and saying, hey, I remember you at the conference. The convention was fantastic. And I had a question. I wanted to know if you could help me with it. And I got your number from NAAHP, or I got your email from NAAHP. And then that connection fosters into something amazing. You have seen it work in person. I have seen it work in person. And there's something to say when we have numbers, that there's definitely power in that. A question I had for you would be, now that we are getting closer and closer and closer to the convention, how can people connect with you and reach out to you if they have any questions? And then maybe just what are you anticipating for 2025?
The second part is a very loaded question. It's very loaded, but how can you find us? On Instagram, go to African Immigrant Collective, one word, and follow us on Instagram. We're the same name on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn as well. Our website will be launching. We've been experiencing some challenges with our hosting platform, but the website is going to launch very soon. But African Immigrant Collective across all social platforms. Well, not all, but Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We're very active on those places. We have a community platform on Circle as well. Once you follow us on Instagram, you'll be able to connect to our internal. That's our home. We call Circle our home. So that's where all of the good stuff happens. You have to be inside to get the good stuff. So that's where we share all the cool things. Membership is free. So we want to, or at least want to give a benefit for people who actually make the effort to put in their email and do all of that. So that's how to, and you can follow me on Instagram as well. My personal account, Nnamdi _ Ihenacho, I think. Yeah, now you can tell I'm not the one who manages it, but I get to see everything. Nnamdi _ Ihenacho is you see my face and you see my kids and me playing around, so that's how you know it's me. Send me a DM and let me know, where you found me from. Or on LinkedIn, you see my picture and you can tell it's me. Send me a message. I really love connecting with people, and we always find time to make a connection. In terms of what we have coming up, we have a lot planned for next year. We have a gala. I think I'll send an official invitation once we square away logistics. But we have a gala to end the year, so I'll send out invitations to NAAHP, so you can also be a part of that gala to end. It's going to be December 8th here in Atlanta as well. So Atlanta is where it is.
Let them know.
Yeah, we have that coming up. But next year we're looking to launch a few new initiatives. We want to get on campuses for, because a lot of people begin their journey through F1 student visa. So we want to have like a program for students. We'll still keep doing what we're doing, but we want to build something there. And then we want to do something, create like a program or like an accelerator or something of sorts for new immigrants, or people who have been here for 0 to 5 years and haven't quite found their footing, for maybe like a 3 months program where it's going to be addressing different aspects of settling into the US, from immigration to credit to renting to buying a home. Just take people through that, class. So now at least you live informed and get clarity, so you're not wasting time. We've seen so many people just waste time and be lost. Some people haven't spent 10 years just navigating immigration. And they can't travel home, they can't go visit family, they can't leave because they are stuck. And, and if you leave, that's it. So we want to make sure those kind of people have information. It's going to be like very heavy on programming next year. In addition to our weekly expert series that we do, we'll continue those. We're looking to expand our circle of experts so that we have more people who want to go. We don't want, right now we do it Saturdays only. We feel like there's so much information and we want to gather so much resources that every day of the week is something. Just that's the vision I have, is every day, right? There's something going on within the community where people are just joining and being fed and giving proper information. So there's just value unlimited. That's the vision next year. And then our summit is going to be in May next year as well. So we're excited about that. I know we're doing something for Women's Month in March. So there's all of these things coming up. It's a loaded year next year. So but connect with us at the conference, and we'll give you all of the information. We'll have papers to hand out, and opportunities for who to join and be part of what we're doing too.
Oh, that is fantastic. I might have to go ahead and get my ticket for the gala in December, because there is something to say when everyone is on the same page and there's momentum, there's movement, and we are just grateful for you, Dr. Nnamdi, for all that you all are doing, not only locally here in Atlanta, but across the nation and for the larger diaspora population. Thank you. Thank you for seeing that need and finding that niche and stepping into this gap that needs to be filled. We can only imagine the amount of overwhelming joy that will start to pour in, and is probably pouring in now, of people that said, I was confused about the process. I was losing hope because I was stuck, and I found the collective, and I am more precise in my journey. I have a renewed hope, and I'm optimistic about this country now, and I feel good about the outlook in life, and it's promising. And then, like you said earlier, holding that door open so that everyone who sees that potential can say, I can do it because someone else did it, and they're right there to help me and holding a hand as I become a success too. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
This is good. No, so you all heard it here. They will be at the convention, so please register. Go ahead and knock out register. Get your sign up. Get your information for lodging and transportation. Lock it in. We will get to see Dr. Nnamdi and the collective. They're going to be at the convention, and so we're excited. We're excited about that entire time. Once again, my name is Samuel Buissereth, and I am with NAAHP. And Doctor, any last words for our audience today?
I'll just go do everything Samuel said. Go get your tickets. When we, when we want to go far, we go together, right? You know, you said something like strength in numbers. One is too small a number to accomplish any great thing. I promise you, you want to be in the circle of your people doing great things. You're going to be inspired. It's going to drive you to go faster. So, don't miss this for anything. And thank you all for having me. I'm excited to see what we can do together. I'm looking forward to the convention and to just the future of doing work together.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Take care. And thank you, Dr. Nnamdi. Have a great day.